Hi everyone, I'm Nancy with Ladybugs Flowers and Rustic Decor, and today we're going to be making a rustic old song that came to my mind as Easter is approaching, and I don't own the lyrics to it, and I don't own the rights to the song, but the old rugged cross, which I did type out, and I just put it with a dark brown background and the words in white. But anyways, so we're going to design it on a piece of board, a palette piece, that I am going to kind of paint over. I know we want it to be rustic, but it is going to be. I just would like to paint over it and then bring out some, not a white, but like a tannish, the antique white, I guess, because that's what I'm going to use, and a little bit of our nutmeg brown, just a small touch of it, and mix it together, and then paint over this board, and then we're going to paint over it a little darker than what we mix up. That way we can kind of use our little sander to go back over, and it gets our ends and stuff too. Or we might just paint it this color. I'm not for sure yet. I hadn't thought this all the way out. The cross I'm using is just some scrap pieces that was loose that I had outside, that I went out there and just grabbed and cut one of them off a little shorter to make the cross. And we might just leave it this color. That way we can bring out the real wood in it as we sand it. And I love the song that I am putting on here, the lyrics to it. And very sad song, but a very true one. And I thought that goes along with Easter. To me, it does. It makes me think of my mother and daddy. My daddy, because as he got older, he sat and listened to gospel music all the time and sung it. So I can just hear him right now singing it. Now I do want to paint the back side of it too. I think that we are going to use this more smoother side. So now what I want to do is just take my little sander and just go up and down it just a little bit. And it might not make a difference. But I think so. Like I said, I'm not wanting to scrape all that paint off. I'll be sneezing. But enough to be able to see that wood grain. And what I want to do, I do want to go ahead and put some of my darker brown just around the edge. And I'm going to use some of the lighter just around the edge of kind of the frame, I guess you could say. Just digging in with my fingers because I'll have stuff all over me anyway, so. Not really caring. And I might put a touch of it all the way down it and see what that looks like, but not a lot to cover up my other color that I put on. Because you're not going to see that all that much. You're going to see it around mostly the edge of the little frame. And of course, you can leave it the way you want if you're making one. I'll take some of my lighter here. Don't have much left on the, but just kind of rub it in right there. And that's how it's looking right now. So we'll probably go back over, but we're going to set that over to the side. And these woodland pieces are cut off cedar that we cut down, me and my husband one of us. But what I'm going to do is paint it this darker brown. And then I'm going to go back over it after I dry it. Go back over it with a lighter, and then go back over it with not the darkest brown, but almost nutmeg brown. Just the top part. And dry them again. Of the burnt umber. And go over the top of that. But then we're going to bring some more of that lighter out. Swipe over. And if I need to, I'll take my darker again and swipe over that. because we do want it to have a rustic look to it. All right, now we're going to just take my little sander on the edges of our little cross, or what's going to be our little cross. Let me get my glasses on where I can see better. Well, I am going to take a little bit of this antique white and white and the brown and go over the middle of our board. Then taking some of that darker back around. Not wanting it to be perfect. So we just barely going across. Just for it to have a darker look. Maybe that's what I'm getting accomplished here. All right, I'm gonna dry this one more time. The middle. And that's the way we're going to leave it. It's not white. It looks more white on there, but once I take a picture, you'll be able to see. All right, next, what we're going to do is Mod Podge our little picture of our song onto our board. You want to have it fully covered from top to bottom where it does stay. And what I'm wanting to do is just put it halfway on this board to the left side of it, all the way against the board on that side. Or as close as I can. Where we got it secured all the way around. And it's okay if it smudges like you print, if you're wanting it to be a rustic look. And that's what we're going for. Not a new. All right, now we're, all right. I think it's fine. This is the way it's looking so far. Now, what I want to do is glue our cross on with some hot glue. And you want to make sure you put enough. I am going to have to press down, but what I'm going to do is put it at the very top and let it come downward. So we're going to hold down on this for a minute. I hope everyone's had a wonderful Wednesday. And I think that's done it. We might have to paint back over where that glue come out on that side. Then what we're going to do is connect the rest of our cross just on the top side of it. And I don't know why I put glue all the way across, but I did. And we're going to stick that just a little above the name of the song, because we're not wanting to cover that up. Want that to stay. And that's the way we got it so far. It might be a little crooked. I don't know. Get that extra glue off. Then I also want to take just a few of these little white little flowers and stick them down here at the bottom of our cross, like it's got little wildflowers growing up. Cut that off. That way it's not so long, and we don't want it covering up over here. So I'm just going to take two and put some hot glue. And place them. Hold them down for a second. So it ain't going to take long. Take these other two. Looks like I got some dripped over here, so we might just dip it in that. No, it's actually dry. It looked like it wasn't. Stick the other two. Just going to kind of stick them going straight up. I got one more that I've got that I'll stick on this other side to where it's not covering up our it ain't that I lose my train of thought. It's just that I'm just thinking about how I'm going to do this without covering up the song. All right, so I am just going to take some of these little bushy, grassy looking things and stick them at the bottom. And then we'll also need to get something to cover that up. That way you're not seeing that. And I'm just taking them loose. Cutting the little ends off. Not wanting them to cover up our white neither. You bring them on up if you want to. And stick that in there behind it. Then I am going to put some glue down there. And just stick it to it. And that way you're not seeing all that glue on it. The last thing we're going to do is put a bow at the top. I have done cut out my little music cloth because I did dip it, not the whole thing, but I did what I cut off. into some coffee, and it was Folgers little instant coffee that you can get at the dollar store, which you can get it at Walmart too. And because it was white, and I wanted it to be not white, I wanted it to be a kind of an off-white brownish look. But as I was doing that, it made me think of one of my dear cousins. The off-white. All that extra material. And what I've done is cut out a strip of jute string, and all I'm going to do here is just loop it back and forth as I always do, which I could leave one downward as well, as long as you've got it up there. To tie it with. Get all this extra off of this. I mean, you're still going to have some just hanging, but you want to get most of it off. All right. I'm going to do the same thing. Let's loop that one upward, bring it down, making sure I get that loop back up in the middle where I'm going to tie it. And I'm just going to loop this one back down and let it go that way. But you want all of it to be right in that middle. So like if you had like a bow maker, it would be right in the middle of it. This is not much. It was tearing on me too. So we're going to place one up and bring our loop and our other one up and take our loop and just leave it as is. Then we're going to take another short piece, do the same, but I'm going to do it in the opposite direction. Than what I just did. All right, now we're going to go back to our off-white. Cut that off. All right. Now we're going to grab a hold of our string and tie as tight as we can. For our bow. And the bow might end up being too big. Maybe not. Cut some of that off. But kind of looks like it is. Shape it out. Get our little I'm going to go ahead and cut that one and that one. And then, of course, that one. Well, can't put it that way. It's covering up our name and everything. So we are going to cut some more of this down. I'm going to put some glue on that. I'm going to turn it, even though I know I'm going to have my bow this way. That way. I was getting it all the way to the edge. Lord, that burnt. Then I am going to stick a little brown button right in the middle. But I think it turned out really good. I think it is very beautiful. And I hope you think so. I hope it inspires you in some kind of way. I hope you enjoyed the video, and always remember, you are enough, and have a blessed night. Thank you.